for millions of football fans around the world. Reaching the FIFA World Cup is the ultimate dream. Players spend their entire careers chasing it. Coaches dedicate their lives to it. Referees work for years, often in silence and away from the spotlight, hoping for the chance to officiate on football's biggest stage. For one Somali referee, that dream had finally become reality. After years of dedication, sacrifice, and excellence, Omar Artan was set to make history. As the first Somali referee ever selected for a FIFA World Cup, it was a moment of pride not only for him, but for an entire nation. But then something unexpected happened. He arrived at an airport, and his World Cup dream came to an abrupt halt, denied entry into the United States. Artan was suddenly removed from the tournament he had spent years preparing for. The decision shocked football fans, sparked international debate, and raised difficult questions about politics, immigration, and the true meaning of football's promise to unite the world. This is the remarkable story of the referee who made it to the World Cup only to be stopped at the border. A journey from Somalia to the world stage to understand why this story has attracted global attention. It is important to understand who Omar Artan is. In a country where football often faces enormous challenges, Artan emerged as one of Somalia's most respected officials. His rise was not sudden. It was built through years of commitment and professionalism. In 2018, he became an official FIFA referee. From there, his reputation continued to grow. He officiated important continental competitions and established himself as one of Africa's most promising referees. His performances earned recognition across the football community. Then came perhaps the biggest achievement of his career. In 2025, Artan was named Confederation of African Football Men's Referee of the Year. For Somalia, it was a historic moment. For Artan, it was confirmation that years of hard work had paid off. And when FIFA selected him for the 2026 World Cup, another piece of history was about to be written. For the first time ever, a Somali referee would take charge of matches at football's greatest tournament, or so everyone thought. The unexpected obstacle as preparations for the World Cup intensified. FIFA gathered referees from around the world in Miami, Florida. The training camp was organized by legendary refereeing chief Pierluigi Collina. Every selected referee and assistant referee was expected to attend. The camp was designed to prepare officials physically, mentally, and tactically for the pressures of the tournament. For Artan, it was simply the next step toward the World Cup. He traveled with valid documents. According to Somali officials, he even carried a diplomatic passport that had been issued to help facilitate international travel. Everything appeared to be in order, but upon arrival at Miami International Airport, events took an unexpected turn. U.S. immigration authorities denied him entry instead of beginning preparations for the biggest tournament of his career. Artan found himself removed from the country and redirected to Turkey. The dream that had taken years to build suddenly stood in jeopardy. Politics meets football. Decision immediately sparked questions. Why had one of Africa's top referees been denied entry? U.S. authorities did not publicly provide a detailed explanation. However, many observers quickly pointed to a wider political issue. Somalia was among several countries affected by travel restrictions introduced under the administration of President Donald Trump. Whether those policies directly influenced the decision became a subject of intense discussion. What made the situation even more controversial was the timing. The World Cup is often presented as football's most inclusive event, a tournament that brings together nations from every corner of the globe, a celebration of unity through sport. Yet here was was a FIFA-appointed referee being prevented from participating because of immigration barriers. Contrast was impossible to ignore. For many, it highlighted the difficult reality that even the world's biggest sporting event cannot fully escape politics. As news spread, FIFA moved quickly to address the situation. The organization confirmed that Artan would be unable to participate in the 2026 World Cup. Officials explained that all referees must remain at the Miami training base tournament for preparation, coordination, and security reasons. This meant there was no possibility of Artan simply officiating matches in Canada or Mexico. Without access to the United States, participation became impossible. FIFA emphasized that immigration decisions ultimately belong to host governments and not the governing body itself. The statement was factual, but it did little to ease disappointment among supporters. History was slipping away, and there was nothing FIFA could do to change. Somalia reacts back home. The reaction was immediate. The Somali Football Federation contacted FIFA seeking urgent clarification. Government officials expressed concern over the situation. Many Somalis saw the decision as more than just a personal setback, viewed it as a lost moment for the entire country. For a nation that rarely receives positive international headlines, Artan's World Cup appointment had represented hope, achievement, and progress. His success had become a source of national pride. Now that historic milestone had been taken away, across social media, football fans from Somalia and beyond expressed frustration, disappointment. Many questioned how a referee selected by FIFA could be prevented from performing his duties. Others argued that sport should remain separate from political disputes. The debate quickly spread far beyond football circles. Artan's remarkable response, yet perhaps the most inspiring part of this story, came from Artan himself. Despite the disappointment, he refused to respond with anger. Instead, he chose dignity. In a public statement, he thanked FIFA and the Confederation of African Football for their support. He expressed gratitude to the football community for their messages. Most importantly, he remained focused on the future, rather than dwelling on what had been lost. He spoke about continuing to improve and preparing for future competitions. His response reflected the same professionalism that had earned him international respect in the first place. While circumstances prevented him from reaching the World Cup, they could not diminish what he had already achieved. Bigger question for football. Artan's story raises questions that extend far beyond one referee. Can global sporting events truly remain separate from politics? What happens when immigration laws conflict with the ideals of international competition? How should governing bodies respond when participants are unable to enter host nations? These are difficult questions without easy answers. The 2026 World Cup was designed to bring the world together, yet before the tournament even began, it found itself at the center of a debate involving borders, diplomacy, and national policy. In many ways, Artan's experience became a symbol of the broader challenges facing modern international sport. The story of Omar Artan is not really about visas, airports, or political decisions. It is about a dream born on the football fields of Somalia and carried all the way to the doorstep of the world's biggest sporting event. It is the story of a man who refused to let circumstances define his future. A man who climbed from local football grounds to become one of Africa's most respected referees through hard work, sacrifice, and unwavering determination. The 2026 World Cup will move forward. The stadiums will be full, matches will be played, champions will be crowned, and history will be written. But hidden among all those headlines is another story that may be even more powerful. Story of a referee who earned his place on football's greatest stage, yet never got the chance to step onto it. For some, this may seem like the end of a journey, but for Omar Artan, it may simply be the beginning beginning of a new chapter, because true greatness is not measured by the obstacles that stop you. It is measured by the courage to keep moving forward when those obstacles appear. And perhaps that is the lesson we should remember most. Not every victory comes with a trophy, and every champion lifts a cup. Sometimes the greatest triumph is refusing to give up on your dream as the world watches the World Cup unfold. One question remains: will Omar Artan's greatest achievement still be ahead of him? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: his story is far from over. And if this journey has inspired you, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe Omar Artan will one day achieve his World Cup dream? We'd love to hear your opinion.